The photojournalists, we've always been a band of competitive people with an artistic streak, I think is what you'd call it.
Taranaki photojournalist Rob Tucker has recently retired after cancer meant he could no longer take photos. Never one to sit idle, Rob was keen to find a way to give back to Hospice Taranaki.
And I just thought about it. I thought, well, I wonder if I could do a little thing. I mean, just anything. And I came up with this idea of bringing the photojournalists I know and have worked with and asking them to donate a print of their favourite photo of their career, and that we do it as a one-off, get them to sign it, and we have an auction of these photographs.
Got a call from Rob. He'd come up with the idea, which I thought was absolutely fantastic. And he asked for a bit of help, and I said, absolutely. Anything I can do to help. I think it's a fantastic cause. Dear to my heart, actually. And he's just such a great guy.
It's something we've never been involved with before, and it's been difficult to get new community events in the last couple of years with the restrictions of COVID. So when Rob said, hey look, I've got an idea through my background, my photojournalism background, and I've got a lot of contacts that we would never be able to reach, the fact that Rob could pull strings together and come with an idea is fantastic. It'll be different, and I think it'll be innovative, and I think the community will really support it, and we're wholeheartedly behind it.
You only need to mention the word hospice and somebody says, how high do I jump? What do you want? Everybody has had an experience somewhere in their family with the hospice, and they want to give back. They want to give, how do we thank them? All these amazing photos have surfaced. Some real fun ones like Muhammad Ali, Fina Cooper, and Rainbow Warrior blowing up, Buzzy Bee on the lawn, the Government House with Prince William. We've got over 100 of these mounted prints that are going to come up for auction. This is my way of thanking them, and hopefully it's successful.
I think people are rightly putting value on photographs now that didn't exist before. Historical pictures, anything. Some of the pictures in this auction are amazing. New Zealand history, beautiful, beautiful images, and the value, in my opinion, has always been there, but other people are realising it.
We're sharing photographs. We're bringing together a band of photographers who have always been competitors and would pretend to be nice to each other, but in fact we're going to cut each other's throats to get the best picture. The general public can take pictures these days on their phones, but the photojournalist is that specialist who actually sees the angle and gets an amazing photo out of something that could be quite mundane. 70% psychology and getting in position and getting the light right and getting your camera right and everything else like that. 30% is photography. I started a collection of these sort of portraits. Wherever I went, I'd photographed older Maori people. And I promised them I'd never commercialise it. Like, I'm recording you guys because I love you and I think you make beautiful portraits. 3 years later, I had this woman cleaning my house once a week. And she said, could I have a look at some of the photos? And I got the suitcase and put it on the kitchen table and opened it up. And on the top was this picture of this Maori gentleman. Diane started wailing and crying and touching the photo. And I thought, oh, what have I done? I've broken some protocol here. And Diane, look, I'm sorry, I don't know what I've done. And she finally calmed down. She said, do you know who this man is? I said, well, no, I don't. She said, it's my father. And he died last year and I haven't got a picture of him. I said, Diane, I'm giving him back to you. I've taken aunties back to their maraes where they belong. And I've been the keeper of that image for 40 odd years as a messenger almost. So a lot of photographs can be from the heart. A lot can be from a commercial point of view, like America's Cups and things like that. But it's lovely to give back something that a photojournalist can do, and that's giving it back from the heart.
While in the care of Hospice Taranaki, Rob discovered that the organisation looking after Taranaki people was also in need.
And we're just so grateful that Rob's considered how we're helping him. Is there some way that he can help us in our hospice, being a charity in the healthcare sector, and falling on some pretty hard times financially at the moment with the ability to operate our services and increasing costs and all the other pressures of being in business at present.
Always prepared to help, always prepared to give advice, a mentor to all sorts of people, everyone that he comes across. And he's just incredibly generous in that way with his knowledge and with his time. And I think what he's doing here is just an example, just an extension of that. He's one of a kind, Rob.
During Rob's 54-year career, he has covered everything from dog trials to the America's Cup.
A snapshot of time. Some of them that we remember, when I saw some of the ones I've gathered, I sort of had the aha, I remember seeing that picture in the paper or in the media, and it's something to be different and with the ability to people to buy them through auction to get a framed image, which will be important to them, and they can support us through the auction process.
He's also photographed the Queen.
I know I scared her at one stage where I said, "Are you looking forward to the walkers, Mum?" And she looked at me and said, "Walkers, what are they?" And I said, "I know the war canoes." She was going to Waitangi. And, oh, yes. And I'd done my homework and we talked about dairy cows, and she'd just been down to buy some cows, actually, some Jersey cows from a breeder in Otaronga. And of course I said, I'm from Taranaki originally, and I know a little bit about dairying. And so we talked about dairying and her herd of Jersey cows back in England. And she put her half-finished drink down on the tray and she said, "Look, you must excuse me, but I've got to change for dinner, but please stay and finish your drink." She walked out of the room and I grabbed a glass and downed it. And that was almost straight gin. I thought, "Whoa, you beauty." There wasn't any tonic in that, I can tell you. And I thought, "You are like my mother-in-law, you're real." I was lucky enough to be there when they had the Buzzy Bee on the lawn at Government House. And about a week later, I finally got to my appointment at the doctor's to have a vasectomy. So I did a deal and got a free vasectomy for 3 prints. I don't think many people have done that either.
Look, he's just a nice guy to be around, and what's a really complex time of Rob and Bonnie's lives, we're grateful that we're able to help them in some really difficult decision making that they're working their way through. So look, it's nice to be associated with people that I guess value what we do, and we see that as important, and they just really are really neat people.
I don't look ill, but I'm not too good. And it's given me focus to get through these days where it's getting harder. And sorry, I haven't thought past the option. Just I hope it goes well. I hope I'm here for it. Sorry.
He's a realist, and he's taking every possible precaution he can to ensure that he is here, and it'd be great to have him as part of the night.
2 months ago I was walking. Now I can't stand up. I've got no use of my legs at all, and it's a pretty hard emotional thing to get over. I think the emotional thing is getting your head right. It's probably the hardest thing. And that's where the focus of photojournalism and all that, maybe I'm helping the guys in the industry, and maybe I'm helping the hospice, but I'm actually selfish and I'm helping myself as well. You've got to have that edge. You've got a slight bit of madness, perhaps. You got to be nosy. Each photographer has his own style, and yeah, we all look at each other's work, and I think that's important, to look at each other's work and get out of them what they're doing and maybe adapt it to what you're doing, and so you become better. After 3 years of being in photojournalism, you think you know it all. Well, in fact, you don't. You're only just starting. And it's about photographing life. And life as in photography, it's all up and down. Sometimes you have a great day, you get this amazing picture, and then you're on a real buzz. You get a great picture. It's easy for me to look at someone like Ross Land's work or Andy Jackson, and say, wow, they're having a good day. That's an amazing photo. And that spurs you on too then to say, oh, I'm going to do better than that. Why didn't he do this? So it's a nice competitive atmosphere. That's good, that's healthy.
Photographers from far and wide will descend on New Plymouth for the Hospice Taranaki auction set for September this year.
I'm really looking forward to being there and seeing what the result is. I'm sure people are going to be generous and yeah, oh no, I've made a difference.
Andy Jackson, Local Focus.